The floorboards creaked behind her. Melanie froze, her breath catching in her throat. The air in the teeny rotting apartment was thick, and the scent of mildew was something metallic. She gripped the crumpled eviction notice in her hands, the edges damp from the sweat in her palms. She wasn't alone. A slow, deliberate scrape echoed from the hallway. Like metal dragging across wood, her stomach twisted. The lights flickered once, then cut out completely. Her phone vibrated in her pocket. She fumbled for it, hands shaking, the glow of the screen casting eerie shadows across the walls. Unknown number calling. A whisper, so close, it might have been inside her head.
You lost your way, Melanie. Now it's time to pay.
The call disconnected. The door to the hallway creaked open, and something stepped inside. 1 year earlier, Melanie Chase was supposed to be successful by now. She wasn't lazy. She wasn't stupid. In fact, she had spent years chasing the dream, starting businesses, investing, grinding herself to exhaustion. But no matter how hard she'd worked, the money never stuck. It slipped through her fingers like sand, like water, like something that had never belonged to her in the first place. She blamed the system, she blamed bad luck, but deep down, she knew the truth. She was adrift. No foundation, no direction, just a series of impulsive actions, one each dragging her further from where she wanted to be. And now, she was broke. Like credit cards, maxed, eviction notice on the table, debt collectors circling like vultures, broke. Her latest scheme, a sure thing cryptocurrency deal, had imploded, leaving her with nothing but regret and a dwindling sense of hope. She had borrowed from the wrong people, not just banks, not just friends, people who didn't forgive. The first sign that something was wrong came in the form of a letter. Not a bill, not a threat, just a plain white envelope slipped under her door. Inside was a single note. We know what you owe. At first she thought it was the usual creditor scare tactic, but then the call started. Numbers that didn't exist, and voicemails that were just silence. And then the things started appearing. At first it was small. A shadow in the corner of her eye, the feeling of being watched in an empty room. But soon her apartment started changing. Her reflection in the bathroom mirror moved when she didn't. The faucet dripped something thick and dark. The floor creaked under invisible steps. And every night at exactly 3:33 a.m. her phone would ring. That same unknown number. That same whisper on the other end.
You lost your way, Melanie. Now it's time to pay.
One night, desperate and sleep deprived, Melanie did something she hadn't done in years. She called her mother. The second her mom picked up, Melanie broke down. I don't know what is happening to me, she sobbed. I keep trying, but I can't hold on to anything. It's like I don't even know where I'm going anymore. Her mother was silent for a long time. Then she said something that sent chills down Melanie's spine.
You've been running in circles your whole life, baby. Money isn't the problem. Direction is.
Melanie wiped her face. What does that even mean? Her mother sighed.
You think you're chasing wealth, but you're not. You're just chasing. You never stop long enough to receive. You never trust. It'll come to you. And now you're lost.
Melanie didn't know why, but these words hit her harder than anything she'd heard before. Lost? She'd been lost for so long, she didn't even recognize it anymore. And now something else had found her. That night, the phone rang at 3:33 a.m. This time, Melanie didn't let it go to voicemail. She answered. Silence. Then,
Are you ready to listen?
her pulse pounded. But this time, she wasn't running. Yes. The shadows in her room shifted. The air grew heavier, charged. But instead of fear, Melanie felt something else. Clarity. The voice continued.
Then stop running. Look at where you are. Look at what you have. Wealth isn't something you chase, Melanie. It's something you align with. Let it come to you.
Melanie closed her eyes. She thought about all the times she had scrambled, grasped, clung to money with white-knuckled desperation. She had never trusted it to stay. She'd never trusted herself. She had been living in dislocation, always moving, never arriving. And now, she chose to stop. The next morning, something changed. The apartment felt lighter. The creeping shadows were gone. The air no longer felt suffocating. Melanie sat at her tiny, cluttered desk and pulled out a fresh sheet of paper. For the first time in years, she mapped out exactly where she wanted to go, not just financially, in every single part of her life. She stopped chasing fast money and started building. She invested in learning, real learning. She worked on her mindset, her habits, her ability to hold and grow wealth, instead of just hunting it down. She took a job, not a glamorous one, not a get-rich-quick scheme, but something stable, something that allowed her to breathe, to rebuild. And then the money started coming. Not overnight, not in a windfall, but steadily, consistently, in ways she had never experienced before. Because she wasn't lost anymore. She had found her way. Months later, Melanie walked into her new apartment, spacious, warm, hers. She sat down, her keys, took a deep breath and smiled. The old her would have thought wealth was about grinding, about chasing every opportunity until there was nothing left. She knew better. Wealth was direction. Wealth was trust. Wealth was something you grow, not something you hunt. That night, at exactly 3:33 a.m., her phone lit up one last time. Unknown number calling. Melanie picked it up. Not with fear, but with certainty. She lifted the phone to her ear, and all she heard was silence. Then, a soft, satisfied sigh, and the line went dead forever.